Hi everyone, it's me again, Teacher Daphne. Today, we are going to discuss about how to develop fixed in growth mindset. Well, in our previous video or in our previous lecture, we talked about the difference between fixed and growth mindset, sorry. So, in this lecture, we are going to discuss 5 effective strategies to shift from fixed mindset to growth mindset. Also, we are going to discuss more ways on how we could actually develop growth mindset in our learners. How do you approach failures in life? Yes, failures can be very painful, but does it define you and prevent you from learning from your mistakes? Or does it serve as a powerful mechanism to embrace new challenges? There's power in believing that you can improve and accomplish what you set out to achieve by looking at failure and setbacks as a medium for growth. Okay? So, how do we shift ourselves from being limited to our abilities and intelligence to finding freedom in building them? How do we commit to a path of learning and growth? Now, here are 5 strategies to shift from fixed mindset to growth mindset. Are you ready? Let's get started. The first one is you have to tell yourself a different story. What do I mean by this? So instead of telling yourself that you are not good at something, or perhaps you could not do it, like you don't have the ability to learn, or it's better to stick to what you know, maybe you even sometimes think that you would rather give up because it's beyond your limit. Or instead of telling yourself, I have fixed potential. This is frustrating. And so on. Well, you could actually tell yourself that you could do better. You could do it. Like you want to try more. I don't want to give up, that kind of thing. I want to explore more ideas, new ideas. I want to believe in myself. Also, please choose to say that it is possible only if you try. Okay? Because you would never know what will happen unless you try. Another thing is that it's okay to fail. So when you fail, you just tell yourself, it's all right. Maybe I can do better next time if I exert more effort, if I do more, okay? If I study more, I prepare more, that kind of thing. And if you fail, you would just say, it's okay. And of course, choose to say that I can learn from my mistakes. Yes, I know mistakes happen many times, anytime. So you have to just make sure that mistakes are temporary or they are just part of our success. So that's how we could deal with our mistakes. All right? Moving on. Another suggestion here is that do not just tell yourself a different story, but you also need to set learning goals. Why? Focusing on the process as opposed to the outcome helps us look for small continuous improvement that adds up or that add up over a period of time. So by shifting to learning, we can consciously choose a path in which hard work, effort, deliberate practice, and persistence will be the key to our success. Okay, so try to look back when you were doing something. Do not just evaluate the outcome, but you also need to check on the process. Did you do your best while doing it? Did you exert effort? Did you practice more? Or did you just simply do it because it's a task that were given to you? All right, so that's the second part. Another thing that we could see in here is benefit from our failure. In in challenges that we could see or the things that we could face in life, even if we fail, we can benefit from it. All right? So, failures teach us what success can't. So instead of running away from your failure or from our failures and giving up easily when we face a setback or some struggles, challenges, you can just take advantage of your failure by just reviewing them, identifying what did not work, and then devising a plan to connect your mistake. This is very important. So, because we could actually assess what we did wrong and what we can do, what other things we could do to improve ourselves, so that we could also, how can I say, we could minimize or avoid failing. Okay. I also know that it's easy to say that just believing or how can I say benefiting from our failure is good, but once you set your mind to look at the failures as a means to learn and grow instead of considering them as a limitation, well, you will be able to benefit on them. So you just have to think, if I fail, I have to do it again. I mean, not failing, okay? I have to do better next time. That kind of thing. All right. So that's the third one. Another thing that we could see to shift our fixed mindset to growth mindset is choose or to choose Goldilocks task. Have you ever heard about this? Are you familiar with it? No? Yes? Okay, well, let's take a look at this one. There's a difference between seeking challenges and setting out to do what's impractical. If you try to climb a mountain without building physical strength, solve probably trigonometry without even learning algebra and geometry or the basic math, there's no way you can succeed. Ever. Okay? Well, for Goldilocks task, these kinds of activities are neither too easy nor too difficult, just a little over your current ability, just little bit more, okay? They actually provide a perfect opportunity to step outside your comfort zone without dealing too much anxiety. Okay, so by investing in Goldilocks task, you can set up a path for continuous improvement by slowly building upon your current ability. Okay, so I do hope you understood what Goldilocks task. Do you remember the story? Goldilocks tried to eat porridge, right? One is too hot, one is too little, and one is just enough, right? So when we are taking activities or when we are taking challenges, let's just take some activities or let's try to work on tasks that are not too easy and not too difficult, so that we could actually build our confidence even in making it. All right, so that is the Goldilocks task. Another thing that we could see here is choose to be, or we have to be consistent. Yes, we have to be consistent and flexible. Hmm, how can we become consistent and flexible? Well, you cannot shift from fixed mindset to growth mindset in a day. Never. Okay? Much like other things, it requires practice. So we badly need to practice day by day. Okay? I'm pretty sure when you practice piano, you do not just become a professional pianist in one day, right? But you have to deliberately practice, like even from morning until evening. Some people do that, all right? Just to become a professional and successful pianist. We have to be consistent in reflecting on our past behavior by asking ourselves some of these questions like, how do I act or how did I act last time? Did I choose a fixed or a growth mindset? What made I choose one mindset over the other? These kinds of questions actually help us to build or to evaluate ourselves whether we are really trying our best or not. Okay, so by asking yourselves these questions on a regular basis and being flexible to learn from them, you can actually identify your fixed mindset trigger points and, of course, develop new strategies to adopt a growth mindset. Remember, all human beings are unique. We are not the same. Our brain, our way of acting, our personality, well, our body figure, even our face, are all different. Okay? We might look similar with other person, but not totally the same. What works for one may not work for you, or it may not work for other people. So, without being consistent and flexible in your own approach, you cannot develop a growth mindset. So remember, we have to be consistent, all right, and flexible. Again, here are the different ways on how we could actually shift our fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Do you have any questions so far? Or have you taken note of the different ways on how we could shift from fixed mindset or to a growth mindset? Perhaps you could also add more of how we could shift our mindset, like fixed mindset to growth mindset. Okay. How can we develop a growth mindset in our learners then? That's the question. If we are in a classroom and we see that, oh, some of my students are having or have fixed mindset, some of my students are having or they have growth mindset. So, how can we develop then a growth mindset to our learners? What do you think? All right. Well, these are the ways, or these are the things that we could do in order to develop a growth mindset in our learners. First, we just have to help our child or our children understand that our brain works like a muscle. Yeah, it can only grow through hard work, determination, and lots of practice or practices. Yeah, we cannot just, We cannot build our muscle by just doing push-up in one day, correct? But we have to do it like every day, consistently, and we have to do it like with determination. So just like our brain, we need to learn more. We need to be patient in learning. We need to, how can I say, face the challenges, even if they are difficult, because that is how our brain can work and can grow, of course. All right. Is there other ways that you can think of? Mm-hmm. Then let's move on. Another thing that we could do in order for us to develop the growth mindset in our learners is that not to tell, okay? Do not tell your student that they are gifted or talented. This is very inevitable or unavoidable sometimes. Just impulsively, the teacher would just say, "Wow, you are really gifted. Wow, you are so talented." But do you know that this also have a negative impact to the learner? Because this could actually imply that they were born with the knowledge, and it does not encourage them to exert effort, and of course they wouldn't grow. So let's refrain from telling, okay? Let's refrain from telling our students that they are gifted or that they are talented, not even smart. Instead of saying that they are gifted or talented because of what they did, because of the output that they have, let's just praise the process. That is much better. Praise the process, not the result. It is effort, hard work, and practice that allow our children to achieve their true potential. So even if they actually got low score or they had terrible drawing, a terrible outcome, let's take a look at how they did it. Because even if it might be very ugly outcome, but they really put their best into it, that is what matters. So we should praise how they did that task or that thing, okay, instead of just focusing on the result. So that's how we could also develop the growth mindset of our learners. Let's move on. Another thing, this is the third, okay, to the last of ways on how we could develop the growth mindset of our learners. We have to encourage them to embrace failure and missteps. Why? Children sometimes learn the most when they fail. So we should let them know that mistakes are just a great part of learning, and it's actually a part of the learning process and success, of course. So even if they fail, they should keep on doing. So as you can see in this picture, if you fail, never give up, because fail means first attempt in learning. That's fail. All right? So we have to encourage our learners that despite of failing, they just have to do it again, but perhaps change the process on how they did it. And with our guidance, I'm pretty sure that they would be able to do better next time. Another thing is encourage participation and collaborative group learning. Children learn best when they are immersed in a topic and when they are allowed to discuss and advance with their peers. So it's actually good if we could incorporate collaborative learning, okay? Because with this, they could also develop different kinds of skills. And with this, it would be very helpful for them how could I say, to develop their growth mindset instead of just sticking to what their ability is. All right. So, to generalize our lesson for today, the passion for stretching yourself and sticking to it, even or especially when it is not going well, is actually the hallmark of growth mindset. This is the mindset that allows people to thrive or to pursue or to persist during some of the most challenging times in their lives. This quotation is from Carol Dweck. Sorry, this quotation is from Carol Dweck, who also discussed about the difference between fixed and growth mindset. Well, I do hope that you have learned so much about this lecture, and I am very grateful that I was able to impart this knowledge to you. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye. Have a good day.